Book Dragons, I'm back. I'm here today to do my October reading wrap-up part 1. I do anticipate reading quite a bit in October, especially because the first half of the month I did read quite a few littler things just because of the various reading challenges I am a part of, especially Fablin, and that is a new readathon for me, so I don't want to fall too far behind, especially because I'm going to Comic-Con this week. But we're going to do stats first, and then we're going to dive into all the books that I read. A lot of these did get reviewed places, like I did do vlogs about them, so you may be seeing this video before the vlogs, but that's okay. Yeah, the vlogs will still go up, and you know, I'm doing the TBR harvest thing, I'm doing Bookopoly, I'm doing a couple of other little things. So alright, let's get into it. So stat wise, I read 9 books so far. I read 2,135 pages. I read 68 pages on average per day, which is pretty accurate. I haven't been reading a ton during the week. And then my average page count was 237, definitely a little bit less, but I have been reading a lot of smaller things. My most read genre is mystery, and I read 0 with rep and 4 from authors I read before. I read 1 5-star book. I read 5 4 stars, 3 3 stars, and for an average rating of 3.78. I would have to go back and look up what the 5-star was because I don't actually remember right now. But I did have 1 5-star read. So. And then I read 1 physical, 4 audiobooks, 1 mixed media, and 3 ebooks. I started 5 series, I continued in 2. I caught up with 1. I read 2 standalones and 2 companions. I read 1 ARC, 3 from Audible, 1 from KU, 4 from the library. I read 3 mystery, 1 horror, 1 graphic novel, and 1 romance. Alright, let me just look to see what I said for all of those books. Just so I can remember where I was at. Let me just see. Oh yeah, okay. I remember when I gave 5 stars too, because I really did like it. It was more like a 4.75 stars a book. But yeah, okay. Let's get into it. So the first book I read was for how to read a book that either had windows on the cover or something sharp on the cover. And I chose to read Chaos at the Lazy Bones Cafe. I'll attach a photo here. A super cute, cozy mystery set in a really small town in a bookshop, and there was some murder and intrigue, and I had a fun time with it. I gave it 4 stars. I really hope this author writes more books in this world. It was quick. It was a really, really quick listen, and one that I really, really sped through. I read it because Leandra was reading it, and I'm a part of her Patreon. I think that's the Patreon book. But yeah, I had a fun time with it. It was a cute, cozy mystery, and one that really captured my attention. So I had a fun time with it. If you're looking for a good, cozy Halloween, not spooky, but mystery set in a Halloween town with Halloween vibes, I would check that one out. And the next book I picked up was Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winston. This is her book that came out in 2023. I got this from ALA back in the day. This, I don't know. I feel like this was a book that I liked, but I didn't love. And I think maybe a good reason is about 100 pages of this book. I was doing stuff for my show, and I shouldn't have read it when I was doing it. But this book follows a main character named Ruth. She lives in a God-fearing Christian town in Louisiana. Her best friend always has some stuff going on, and he is a little bit of a public legend, I would say. There are rumors about him. But when some murders start to come to life, Ruth is put on the hot seat with her and her friend, as the murderers may be connected to them. And this book has a very, very open ending. I will say that. So if you're not a big fan of open endings, I don't know if you're going to like this one. But I definitely didn't like it as much as The Last Housewife, and I didn't like it any less than I liked In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. But I like the characters, and I think that the dynamics of their friendship were really, really interesting and compelling. It was also very much, there was a religion, there was a little bit of cultiness to this story. I liked it, and I gave it 3.75 stars. So definitely recommend you pick it up if you have Ashley Winston's books in the past. I enjoyed it. It does have a very, very open ending, I will say that, but I gave this book like 3.75 stars. And then the next book, the next couple of things I read were all super little, and I don't even remember the order that I read them, but I read Christy. It was a Babysitter Club graphic novel collection. It was Christy and the Walking Disasters. I'll add a photo here for you. It's a really, really cute graphic novel series that I have really, really enjoyed. This is book 16 in the series, and it's just a re-adaptation of the classic Anne Marie Martin series. And I like this book. I gave it 4 stars. There was a lot of rep. It was about sports, and I just had a fun time with it. I really, really liked them. They're really, really quick to read, especially help with Goodread goals. I will say that. So I gave this book 4 stars for review. I know that we just got a new librarian, and I want to make sure that they have those books on the shelves because I think the kids would like love them. So the next book I read is Investigators Heist and Seek. I will attach a photo here. Really, really quick graphic novel, and I really read it because I had to read a book that had a heist in it, and all the other books I had to read that were so massive and long that had heists. So I decided to read this one. It was really, really cute. I think it would be perfect for middle grade students. It was fun. I read it out of order. I don't have a lot to say, but I gave it 3 stars. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. The next book I read was my 5-star, and I read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Sorry, my dog's barking. The people are doing the lawn. So here's a photo of that one. I will say this as a reader that doesn't really like horror. This book worked for me. I don't know if it was because of the audiobook that I listened to. Shout out to my friend Emily, who taught me about a cool way to listen to audiobooks for teachers, which is really, really fun. So I really like that. But I read this and I really had a fun time. It was quick. It was easy. It basically follows this character who has to go home to see her mom, and things in the house are not always as they should be. So it was really, really interesting. I have read stuff by T. Kingfisher before, but I love the narrator. And it was, I would say the last half was a little bit rushed. Like the last hour was a bit rushed when I was listening to it. But I still gave it 5 stars. I really did like it. I liked the narrator. I liked the characters. And it was a quick read. And for the weak stomached of the horror, I really did like this one. So that's why I got 5 stars from me. And then the next book I read was another novella. And that is because I had to read a book that had wings on the cover. So I picked up First Test by Devin Grace and Becca Farrow, and it is adapted from Tomorrow Pierce. This is an adaptation of First Test, and that is my favorite series by Tomorrow Pierce, and I picked this up at ALA when I went. It is definitely going to be one of the books that I give to my students. I definitely recommend you read the actual story first because I think this loses a little bit of the luster in the memory, or the luster in the story, but if you have super reluctant readers that don't want to read a 400-page book, I'd recommend this as a starting point because I really do like the characters quite a bit. And for a story written in the 90s, this book has such effortless diversity kind of infused in it, and I do like that. So definitely recommend you pick this one up. And I'm going to put this one in my class for my students. So, and then the next book I read was a quick audiobook that I picked up, and that is Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca. I love this book. This book is good. This book got 4.5 stars for me. I had such a fun time with it. I know it's not getting the best reviews, but it's really, really fun. So you follow a main character named Cassie. I have a puppy named Cassie. And she winds up moving to this small coastal town. Little does she know, ghosts are everywhere. And her house is haunted. And the guy that she's going to get entangled with has a ghost in his coffee shop. And they just had to figure out what was happening in this town. And I had a great time with this. I really liked it. I was such a fun read. I love that it gave me Halloween Town, but also ghost vibes. I also love that the ghost had a say in the story. And I loved it. I thought the romance was so cute. And it was just a fun read. So I gave this book 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see what this is definitely going to be a companion series because it was set up super well. This was definitely more hate to more, but the other books I'm really intrigued by. So I give this book 4.5 stars for review. And the next book I read was another really, really short one. And I'll touch a photo here. It's Grimoires and Gingerbread. I'll touch a photo here. I had to read this book for food on the cover, or about food, and this is a Christmas novella, I will say that, but it literally just worked perfectly for what I was doing. So I picked this one up. It's a really, really quick, it's a sequel to the Sugar Shack Mysteries. This one takes place around Christmas, and they have to save something from Santa, for Santa. And it was just a fun read. I really, really like this one. I don't think it's great, like I don't think it's perfect, but it was a quick listen, and it worked out perfectly. And then the next book that I physically read was The Final Act of Juliet Willoughby by Ellery Lord. I don't know, I feel a little bit conflicted with this book, and maybe it's because I read it over the course of like a week. I felt very disconnected to the characters. So there's a lot of different timelines in the story, and you start in modern day and a man gets arrested, and then you kind of go back in time as you follow Juliet and, oh no, Juliet, you follow... These two students are kind of uncovering what happened to Juliet Willoughby and her painting career. And it's interesting. I just think I should have read it quicker than I did. And you have to really pay attention whose point of view you are in. But I didn't feel that connected to the characters. I felt like I didn't want to pick it back up. I probably could have DNF'd it and I would have been okay, but I was doing it for a reading challenge and I needed to read a book with black on the cover, so this one worked perfectly. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't feel captured by the characters, but I also didn't want to stop reading. So, mixed bag. It does have vibes of dark academia, but it's more like a mystery, and I did like it, so I gave it 3 stars for review. And then the last book I listened to is A Fake Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun, witchy romance time. Hate to More vibes, a fun town, and I really want to read the other 2 books in the series too, so I'm actually currently listening to A Demon's Guide to a Witch. But I had a fun time with it, and I think that if you're looking for a witchy fun time for this Halloween, I'd pick it up because this one was great. And I also tentatively DNF'd Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood because I wasn't feeling reading it. I wanted to listen to it, and the audiobook doesn't come out late into the month, but I do love this cover, so I'm probably going to keep it until I read it. So yeah, that is what we're doing. Oh, and then let me just say this quickly so I don't forget. What have I been doing? What have I been watching? Okay, so I finished Echo on Disney Plus, which is really, really exciting because I'm so happy that I finished that, which means I'm actually now almost caught up on Marvel. I just need to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, but I'm waiting until it comes out on Disney Plus. And then I finally watched Sins of the Mother, which is the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell documentary on Netflix. So I didn't watch a ton of things because I've been a bit busy, but I did do those things. And I am also doing like Christmas crafting and stuff like that. So let me know in the comments what you have been reading and what was your favorite book. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.